Hello everyone, this is Dr. H.N. Sholapur from Department of Pharmacognosy, KLE College of Pharmacy, Hubli. Today I will be telling about methods of isolation of pure culture of microorganisms. The content of this presentation are Introduction to the methods of isolation of pure culture, Need for the isolation of pure culture, Various methods of isolation of pure culture, their principle and procedure. Before going into the details of the presentation, let me tell you about few definitions. What is a culture? It is maintenance of microorganisms in suitable growth condition. What is a mixed culture? It is maintenance of multiple species of microorganisms in a suitable growth condition. Then what is a pure culture? It is maintenance of single species of microorganisms in a suitable growth condition. There is another very specific term known as strain or a clone. A strain is a progeny of single microorganism and it is the purest form of culture. To move on further, why there is a need for isolation of pure culture? The first application is for educational purpose. We need microorganisms to study their morphological characters, their genetic characters, their virulence power and their resistance power. We also need pure culture for research to test the molecules which are developed in the research laboratories. And we need pure culture for diagnosis. From the specimen or from the biological specimen or fluids which are drawn from the patient has to be subjected for diagnosis to find out which type of microorganisms are leading to the infection so that an appropriate treatment can be given. And finally, pure culture is required for industrial application such as for fermentation where they can be used for conversion of an substrate into a final product of our interest. Microorganisms are also required in their purest form for biodegradation of various waste products. With this background, let us discuss which are the methods of isolation of pure culture. There are two different methods of isolation of pure culture. The first one is general method and the second one is specific methods. To begin with, general methods of isolation of pure culture. These are classified as physical method, which is further subclassified by using heat treatment and by pH variation. By heat treatment, you can differentiate or you can isolate microorganisms based on their incubation temperature. For example, if spore-forming bacteria has to be isolated from non-spore-forming bacteria, an optimum temperature or heat is applied to the culture tube so that only the spore-forming bacteria will survive and not the non-spore-forming bacteria. A temperature of around 100 degrees centigrade should be ideal to isolate the spore-forming and the non-spore-forming, as we know that spore-forming bacteria can be killed only at 121 degrees centigrade and not below that. Similarly, by changing the pH of the environment or the media, you can isolate different microorganisms based on their pH requirement. As we know, for bacteria, the pH requirement ranges from pH 4 to pH 9 and the optimum pH for mesophile is pH 6 to pH 8. So if you want to isolate mesophiles from acidophiles or from basophiles, you can adjust the pH as per their requirement, and this is how you can separate microorganisms based on their pH. The second general method is by chemical treatment. The sub-methods are by using enrichment media and by using inhibitory chemicals. By using enrichment media, a particular species of microorganism can be encouraged in terms of their growth, and by using inhibitory chemicals, particular or a specific microorganism can be spared, whereas the rest of the other types of microorganism can be inhibited in their growth. The last general method of isolation is by biological method, wherein the mixed culture is inoculated or injected into a laboratory animal, which leads to infection in the various organs. On sacrificing the animal, various organs are dissected and they are incubated in the media to obtain different species of microorganism depending on their site of infection. For example, Mycobacterium tuberculosis can be obtained from lungs and E. coli can be obtained from the colon. These methods will lead to isolation of species and not of a pure strain. To obtain pure strain, there are specific methods of isolation of pure culture. Those are streak plate, pore plate, spread plate, roll tube, and micromanipulator technique. Let us discuss these methods in detail one by one. The first method is streak plate method. As the name indicates, streaking is nothing but spreading of microorganisms so that minimum number of cells are obtained at the tail of the spread or streak. It is a technique used to isolate a pure strain of single species of microorganism, especially bacteria. The method was first developed by Loeffler and Gaffey in Robert Koch's laboratory, as we are very well aware that Robert Koch was pioneer in isolating microorganisms from various animals. Now, the technique involves spreading of bacteria over the surface of agar in a petri dish to obtain isolated colonies which can be subcultured to obtain pure culture. Streaking is rapid and ideally a simple process of isolation by diffusion. The technique is done by diluting a comparatively large concentration of bacteria to a smaller concentration. Streaking is done using a sterile tool such as cotton swab or an inoculating loop. The principle behind streak plate method is spreading or thinning of culture with inoculating loop in various patterns on the surface of culture media to obtain well differentiated cells at the tail of streak. The method depends on individual person who is involved in streaking or spreading of the culture, and it also depends on the population of the cells in the culture. For example, if it is a thickly populated cell culture or the microbial culture, then streaking has to be done for a longer time and the length of the streaking also increases. If it is thinly populated, then the length of the streaking has to be reduced. There are two most common methods used in streak plate. First one is 3-sector or T-streak or 3-phase streak. The second one is 4-quadrant streak method. As I have already mentioned, it all depends on the individual who is carrying out this procedure. The procedure involved in streak plate method is the inoculating loop is flame sterilized followed by cooling for 30 seconds. The sample to be tested or to be used for isolation is picked along with this sterile inoculating loop, and it is streaked on the media in a desired pattern such that the culture is sufficiently thinned out to obtain distinct and well differentiated cells. On incubation, well separated colonies are isolated and subcultured on the fresh medium. Here is an animation of the method of streaking. On the left hand side, the first method of streaking is the zigzag streaking, and the second method of streaking is the double streaking method. As you can see from the animation, initially as the streaking starts or begins, there is thickly populated cells which are spread, and as the streaking proceeds to the end or to the tail, you can see the fluid gets thinned out, indicating that more number of cells are present initially, and as the thinning goes to the end or to the tail, there are less number of cells. Now this can be confirmed after incubating the petri dish for 24 to 48 hours. On incubation, you will be able to see that single differentiated distinct colonies which are found at the end of the streaking, whereas there are more merged colonies at the beginning of streaking. Coming to the second method, that is pour plate method. As the name indicates, in this case the diluted media along with the culture has to be poured into a petri dish. We'll be knowing about it in detail as we proceed further. The method, apart from being employed for isolation, it is also employed for the determination of viable microbial cell count in various samples. The method is most popularly adopted in the cell count of drinking water or in the drinking water analysis. The method is framed on the principle of serial dilution of mixed culture of sample with molten agar maintained at 45 degrees centigrade. As we all know that agar below 45 degrees centigrade forms a gel, and above 45 degrees centigrade will be in the liquid state. This property of agar is used for dilution of the culture, and at this temperature most of the mesophiles are not affected, whereas psychrophiles are affected. Hence the method is more suitable for psychrophiles and thermophiles for their isolation. Now this diluted culture along with the molten agar on incubation leads to the development of colonies which can be counted, as well as individual colonies can be isolated, followed by transferring or subculturing to the fresh medium. Pour the prepared, now here is the procedure. Pour the prepared and sterilized agar media in 4 culture tubes, pouring 9 ml of molten agar per tube. Now this tube is maintained at a temperature of 45 to 50 degrees centigrade by means of a water bath. From this picture, it is very well clear that the tubes are maintained at 45 to 50 degrees centigrade and 9 ml of the media is added in each tube. Moving on further, transfer 1 ml of the sample of mixed culture to be tested to the first diluting tube, such that to obtain a dilution of 1:10, that is, we are transferring 1 ml of subculture or 1 ml of the sample culture to 9 ml of the molten agar, so that the total volume becomes 10 ml and the dilution will be 1:10. Similarly, go on transferring 1 ml of the diluted fluid from first tube to the second, from second to third, and from third to fourth, so that the dilutions will be 1:10 in the first, 1:100 in the second tube, 1:1000 in the third tube, and 1:10,000 in the fourth or the last tube. Once the dilution is completed, you need to transfer the complete media along with the microorganism to an empty glass petri dish which is sterilized. Here is an animation depicting the transfer of diluted fluid from the culture tubes to the empty glass petri dishes. On transferring, the petri dishes are allowed to cool down at room temperature in a sterile area. Once the agar is set, then the petri dishes are incubated upside down in an incubator at a temperature of 37 degrees centigrade for 48 hours. After incubation, observe the presence of colonies and study their characteristics in terms of number, size, shape and growth. From this picture, it is very well clear that in the first petri dish, which is the lowest diluted petri dish or least diluted petri dish, the colonies are maximum. As you move on to the most diluted petri dish, that is the fourth petri dish, the colonies are very well differentiated and distinct, from which the microorganisms can be isolated. Now, to identify the characteristic of the microorganism, here are a few details of the colonies. The topmost row indicates the shape of the colonies. Few examples are punctiform, circular, filamentous, irregular, rhizoid and spindle-shaped colonies. In terms of elevation of these colonies, the colonies can be flat, it can be raised, it can be convex, it can be pulvinate or it can be ambonate. Coming to the margin of these colonies, the margins can be entire, undulate, lobate like the fingers, erose, it can be filamentous or it can be curled. So with these characteristics of the colonies, it is very easy to identify the type of microorganisms which are present in the sample. Coming to the third method of isolation of pure strain, it is spread plate method. As the name indicates, the media which is diluted is spread on a petri dish. This on incubation gives colonies or colonies are formed which can be counted as well as their characteristics can be identified. Now the method is similar to that of pour plate method, except the diluting fluid used in spread plate method is not molten agar, but it is broth or saline. The method, apart from being employed for isolation, it is also employed for the determination of viable microbial cell count in various samples, as in case of pour plate method. The method is framed on the principle of serial dilution, similar to pour plate method. Dilution of mixed culture of sample with broth or normal saline. A portion of this dilution, when spread on the media, followed by incubation, leads to the development of colonies which can be counted and isolated after subculturing. Followed by subculturing. Coming to the procedure, pour the prepared and sterilized saline or broth in 4 culture tubes, 9 ml each in each tube. Followed by transfer 1 ml of the sample of mixed culture from the first culture tube, followed by rolling the tubes between palm to result uniform distribution of microorganisms. Similarly, transfer 1 ml of diluted sample of organisms from the first culture tube to the second, from the second to the third, from the third to fourth culture tube, so as to obtain dilutions in the first tube as 1:10, in the second tube as 1:100, in the third tube as 1:1000 and in fourth tube as 1:10,000. Transfer 1 ml of diluted sample, which is nothing but saline containing culture, into an petri dish which already contains media. Spread the sample with L-shaped glass spreader or an glass rod. Allow the liquid to dry and incubate at 37 degrees centigrade for 48 hours. From this animation, it is clear how the sample is transferred to the petri dish which already contains media, and it is spread so that you obtain a clear distinct colonies. On incubation, try to observe the culture and the colonies for their characteristic like number, size, shape and growth, as you have done in pour plate method. On incubation, you can see this is the lowest concentration where maximum number of colonies are found. As you move on to the lowest concentration, the colonies are least. So from this highest dilution of the media, you can very well isolate the distinct and well differentiated colonies. The characteristics of the colonies can be identified by using this picture of various size, elevation and margin. Coming to the fourth method, that is roll tube method. As the name indicates, the tube of culture is rolled on a mortar platform and streaking of microorganism is done so as to obtain dilution of microorganisms. The method was developed by R.F. Hungate. The method was designed for isolation of anaerobic type of microorganisms by dilution on pre-reduced agar. This agar can be obtained by addition of reducing agents like thioglycolic acid or cysteine. This agar is coated to the inner walls of the culture tube. The tube is placed on the rolling mortar shaft. The tube is also maintained in oxygen-free atmosphere by continuously flushing with carbon dioxide. On incubation, colonies are developed which can be isolated and subcultured. Now here are the requirements of roll tube method. It requires a mortar on which the culture tube can be placed. It requires a culture tube, media which is coated to the inner wall of the culture tube. You require a carbon dioxide supply so that an anaerobic environment can be maintained, and you require an inoculating loop. The procedure is: mount the culture tube on rolling mortar shaft, pour small portion of pre-reduced agar medium and coat it on the tube wall, that is inner wall, by rolling the tube. Keep flushing the tube with carbon dioxide to maintain oxygen-free atmosphere. Inoculate the mixed culture by holding the tube against the tube wall and moving it from bottom to top to achieve least cell distribution on the top. You can very well see from the animation that you have to move the inoculating loop against the wall of agar from bottom to top such that the maximum concentration of cells are at the bottom, and as you go on moving the inoculating loop on the top, the cells are diluted and you get the least cell count on the top of the culture medium. On incubation, it is very well clear from the image that least number of colonies are found on top of the culture tube and maximum number of colonies are found at the bottom of the culture tube. So this is on incubation for 24 to 48 hours. So this is how anaerobic microorganisms can be easily isolated by a method known as roll tube method. These colonies can be isolated and it can be subcultured to obtain pure culture for future. The last method is micromanipulator method. The method was developed to select specific single cell of microorganism while viewing through high resolution microscope in conjugation with microtube or capillary tube for selection of microorganism. The method requires sophisticated instrument and skilled personnel for operation, but the results are more accurate and precise for isolation of microorganisms in comparison with the methods which we have discussed earlier. Here is an instrument which indicates how micromanipulation technique can be adopted. This is a field of microscope, and this is objective lens of the microscope, and this is the field where the microorganisms are added to the slide, or to be specific, it is added to the cover slip by an hanging drop method. By viewing through the objective lens, through the microscope especially, you can isolate or you can select one particular cell or a single cell of bacteria, and with the help of a syringe or a plunger, you can with the help of a negative pressure, you can isolate a single cell through suction. Instead of a syringe, you can also use a micropipette, which is specially designed for this method or for this technique. As it is already mentioned, the technique requires a sophisticated instrument or an high resolution microscope along with an attachment for microtube or for the micropipette. If you have any doubts on this topic, kindly write to hassanpashas@gmail.com. Thank you.